been a little bit since I've made a video or even spoken too much about the gender issue that is still raging, believe it or not, in the Western world, albeit it's getting a little bit better, which is actually great. And also, the mainstream media will continue to try and peddle this nonsense even more. But it's good to see that the fight against this madness is raging on more and more, and it's becoming ever so strong. I mean, my show got pretty big because of my stance against the trans madness, and I started to have loads of people on that were talking about why transgenderism is wrong, it's evil, and the plight against girls at the moment is just, it's really sad. And I even had Chloe Cole on my show and several other detransitioners, and also people that have chosen to live life as a transsexual, and they've become friends. It's quite a interesting world. I'll just say that. And I know that I've sort of started to delve into different issues and things of that particular nature. And I'm no way a psychologist or a therapist or anything like that, although I've interviewed a lot of them. That doesn't mean that I know what they know. It just means that I'm able to use their smartness and their literature a lot more. And also, this is actually very much a common sense issue, although they will try and remove any kind of sense out of the commonplace in society, believe it or not. Now, there's this one particular woman that I want to show you, and it's really sad because one of the things that I've noticed, I'm sure many of you have noticed the same thing, is that they get this so confused. They can't even really understand it for themselves. They want to be so much the opposite sex. They can't even really describe what that is because they're never going to be the opposite sex. They're always going to be the sex that they were given at conception, and that is either male or female. But the brain and the confusion has twisted everything that's going on up here, and now they're trying to make sense of a reality that they want so much, but they can't even really make sense of it properly. They struggle to even understand it. Like, what does even trans mean, for example? I struggle to understand that, and no one has been able to really explain it to me because no one can be something they're actually not. It doesn't make any sense. Therefore, trans is just a word that people use to say that it is something else. They've transitioned, for example, which you actually haven't. You haven't transitioned to anything. You still are a biological woman. You still are a woman. You're just missing bits. Same with men. And then you have the ones that just will identify, the identity factor or the identity card that's thrown into the mix so much. And they claim offense if they get, misgendered, or people don't use the correct pronouns, which, by the way, I'll never use because it's just a gateway drug into the madness. And trying to explain this sort of stuff to someone that is really, it's terrible. It can't be good to live like this. It really can't. It's actually really disheartening, and it's sad because I know the truth sets you free. But unfortunately, people like this don't know that. They'd much rather be stuck and live in a lie because they think the lie makes more sense. And the problem is, the more you get into the lie, the more you feel comfortable with the lie, the more deranged you become. And then, I don't know, then you just got to hope and pray that they get out of the lie and live in the truth and the freedom of actual peace that comes with knowing the truth. So have a watch of this woman going, I am a man, I'm a trans man, but I'm not a binary trans man, or whatever it is. Have a watch.
I am a man. I'm a trans man, but I'm not a binary trans man. And there's that little distinction that's hard to explain, but is very important to my identity and my perception of myself. The way that I can kind of explain it is that a cis man has not experienced the expansiveness of gender that I have experienced. A cis man has lived his whole life in this box. I lived way over there for years, and I know what it's like to be treated as a girl in society, and I know what it's like to be standing here like this at work and have one customer come up to me and confidently call me she, her, and the next customer come up and confidently call me he, him. I know what it's like to be perceived as every gender. I know what it's like for someone to look at me and be deeply confused about what they're seeing. I don't fit quite in that little box of man, of male, of cis. That's not something that I've ever experienced, and I don't want to. I want to have this masculine base. I want to create this person. I want to feel like I'm comfortable in my body, and then I want to expand off of that. I want to explore gender again. That is so important to me. And I'm more than a man. I'm not just male. I don't quite fit in that box. I can stand right next to it, but I'm not gonna go in because I don't fit. It's not quite right. Girl is way over there, right? But I'm right here, right next to that. And I'm gonna explore. And I hope somebody understands, and I hope somebody has that same feeling, because I think it's fairly common. And I see a lot of people with a similar experience, but we just don't know how to explain it.
Shouldn't it be so simple to actually understand something that is binary, something that is so innate in every single one of us? Like, I'm male and I know what masculinity looks like. I know what it means to be a masculine man. I know masculine traits because that's what I am. I am a man. Being a man isn't necessarily my identity. My identity foremost is found in Christ. I am a man because that's who I am. That's what I am as well. I am a man. I've got male bits. I've got male physiology. I've got male biology. I've got male DNA, for goodness sake. I am a man. Same with the fact that you are a woman, and there is no changing that. And shouldn't it be so easy to understand? It doesn't have to be complicated, but you going, I am a man, I'm a trans man, but I'm not a binary trans man. What the hell does that even mean? Oh, I'm not a man. Wait, no, I am a man, but I'm not a binary trans man. I think that I'm a binary trans man, but it's very important to my identity. See, I can't even really explain it. It's so hard to explain for myself, but I won't be able to do it for you guys. So it just makes sense to me. I want you guys to respect me and follow along with everything that I believe in, but keep in mind that I am a binary trans man. Not really. Just I am a man, though, even though you're not. So it just sounds ridiculous. Makes no sense. That's the whole point, I think. It's not meant to make any sense. They think that it makes sense to themselves, and so therefore they keep doing that. They think that that is what's giving them peace. They think the more times they try and say this and make videos about this, it's going to help them. It doesn't. Makes it worse. No, what you know is to be perceived as two genders, male and female, but yet some people are trying to be respectful because they know you're really a woman, but they're trying to be respectful of the fact that you want to be called a man and you want to present yourself as a man. Big distinction there. But you're trying to go, oh, there's a variety of different genders, but I've only been called he, him, and she, her. That's it. Nothing else. I don't think you're being called Z, Zim, or Zimzer, or whatever the hell other, not even genders, but other delusional dingbattery things people want to throw out there. So you claiming that you have experienced more because you're identifying as something else that you're actually not, you think that gives you more expertise and more, I guess, more experience? You want to say that? I don't think so. Just means that you're confusing people a lot more, and people need to be careful and walk on eggshells around you because God forbid they say something and you disagree with them on it. If you don't know how to explain it, that worries me, because explaining something like biology, for example, is actually very interesting and very easy to understand. Okay? It's not complicated, but you want to make it complicated for some reason. And, I said in the very beginning, it's very sad. Jennifer Billick goes, my dear, what are these kids going to do when they grow up, abandon the cult, realize they have no skills, no character, no talent, no expertise, depth, or passions because they've spent their entire youth obsessing over themselves and how people see them? On top of that, the drugs they've been ingesting are going to be wreaking havoc on their bodies by then. There's going to be so many more broken people than there are now. What a hellscape. I actually agree with it. By the way, I've had Jennifer on my show. You can go and look at our conversation if you want. Jennifer is one of the foremost experts on this matter and has done quite a bit of research on the transgender madness that is going on. And she's totally right. By the way, Sal Grover is another person you should definitely check out because she's still going through the madness at the moment in court. Because Australia thinks that a man can actually identify as being a woman, and that means that the man beats the woman in court. Absurd. But anyway, Ellie Palmer goes, she's right. They're all this way. They all feel this way because trans-identified females believe that women equals, or woman equals feminine. I guarantee that when she gestures away from her body while saying girl is way over there, she's imagining someone like Sabrina Carpenter, the epitome of feminine. She can't see herself as a woman, but she can't see herself as a man either. So she's stuck kind of in the middle. She wants to be both. She wants to have it both ways. But spoiler alert, you can't. She's speaking on behalf of every trans masculine female who goes on a gender journey, so to speak. When we start to reliably pass, when we get uncomfortable with the reality of being perceived as normal men with no connection to femaleness. Man, so bloody complicated. Femaleness, maleness, just be what you were born as, female or male. And if you are confused, maybe go and see someone that can actually really help you get not confused. It's actually quite simple. We still want people to know we aren't actually men. Accepting these feelings is what led me to eventually detransition when I understood that I could never actually become a man, even though I passed perfectly. I would never be comfortable in that male role. Women like us didn't want to sever the inherent connection we had with other women. We just wanted to escape femininity. We thought we had to become men to do it. But female is not feminine. There's like feminine and masculine traits that we've all got and we all possess, right? I totally understand. And to be honest with you, why does a woman want to be a man so much? I understand there are some aspects of being a woman that are really hard, just as much as there are aspects of maleness or being a man that's really hard too. But trying to change that, it's never going to happen. It's just going to make things worse. You can't change. So it's more a matter of trying to accept the biology that you've been given and embrace it, because God didn't make any mistakes. Anyway, I thought that I would share my thoughts on this matter, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.